Hey, what is up, YouTube? It's Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. Today is Tuesday, so you know what that means. We're going to do a Toys R Us Tuesday. Today we're going to do Game Boy's 1995. Well, it's actually Nintendo 1995 Virtual Boy. We're going to talk about that. It hasn't been a while since it's been a while since I've done a virtual. I'm already losing it. It's been a while since I did a Toys R Us Tuesday. Life's been crazy. So we're going to do a Toys R Us Tuesday today. I got to make sure that I am live and everything is going well. So it looks like we are live. Everything is green. So yeah, today we're going to talk about Virtual Boy. It was from 1995. It was Nintendo's attempt at creating almost like a virtual reality headset. It was like a Game Boy thing, but we're going to get into that in just a second. Let's get some people in the chat room here. If you have any questions during this show, please feel free to leave a comment below. So hope everyone's Tuesday is going good. It's been a while since I did a Toys R Us Tuesday. Every Tuesday we talk about a vintage toy, whether it be from the 80s or the 90s, stuff that I remember at Toys R Us, and that's how usually that goes. So let's dive into it. So 1995, Nintendo created a Virtual Boy, and this is what it looked like. It was like a Game Boy that had a little stand, and you basically kind of like looked into it, and it was the 3D aspect of it was stereoscopic. For those that don't know, you know, it's the left and the right. Some things are pushed back, some things are moved forward to give the illusion of 3D. And so this is what we're going to basically get into today, Virtual Boy. And of course, you know, Toys R Us Tuesdays, we have to basically show you the collectible aspect and secondary market of this, because this thing has become a cult classic, and we'll talk about that. Well, let's give some shout outs to everyone in the chat. We got the Shred Guy back again. Hello, good morning. We got Up North Sales, says he loves my shows. Thank you very much. And Super Sunshine Thrifter, hello, welcome. So we're going to talk about Virtual Boy on Toys R Us Tuesday. Every Tuesday I try to do a show. We talk about vintage toys. Today we're going to talk about 1995's Virtual Boy. So basically what this was like a little Game Boy, and you set it up on a table and you looked into it, and it had this red screen, as you can see here. And the thing was, and actually let's back up a little bit. We're going to play a commercial from 1995. This ran from 1995 to 1996, and we'll get into the whole thing. So basically, Nintendo hyped the hell out of this thing like they usually do, and you know, they'd give you like teaser commercials. So we'll actually go and look at this commercial real quick, and then I'll explain to you the downfall of this system and why it wasn't taken well with collectors and video game aficionados, and I'll explain that in a second. So let's watch this video real quick. This was a teaser commercial, and I'll talk about some interesting things after we watch this, so enjoy.
It came from the third dimension, with its own brain, its own voice, its own legs. There's only one problem.
It sucks.
It needs your eyes. Virtual Boy. See it now in 3D.
So, yeah, that was the commercial. And as you can see, now, did anyone notice anything interesting about that commercial? And if you said they didn't show any screenshots or any gameplay or anything, that is because you are correct, because the game, the system was cool at first, but it wasn't great at all. Like, a lot of people, when I was a kid in 1995, I was 15, and I remember this coming out and thinking like, this is going to be great. It's going to be like Game Boy. There's going to be 3D. But when you actually went to Toys R Us and they had it on display and you looked in it, it was this red screen, as you can see these screenshots right here. So it was pretty much a total letdown for all the gamers that were out at that point, because Nintendo had a good, until this day, they're still really good at hyping up stuff. And the Shred Guy says, great commercial for that era. Nintendo made some amazing commercials, and they don't necessarily do that stuff anymore, which I think is kind of interesting because, you know, for the most part, people don't really watch too much TV anymore, and they have TiVo or TiVo, they have DirecTV, and they you know, scroll through all the commercials. But in the 90s, Nintendo had amazing commercials. Even in the 80s, they had some pretty good commercials. But anyways, back to Virtual Boy. It was a complete failure. It ran from 1995 to early 1996. It only sold 770,000 units. And you might say to yourself, wow, that's a lot, but in Nintendo terms and in video game terms, it's a complete flop. It's not a super complete flop, but that's what actually makes the Virtual Boy and the games very rare, because they didn't make a lot of them. Some of the Nintendo stuff came out and was mass produced, like Super Nintendo, and there was like millions of units created. This, you know, finding one of these sealed is a chore and goes for good money. So we're actually gonna, so that's basically a little bit of history lesson on the Virtual Boy. And like I said, it was a complete flop. Nintendo hyped the hell out of it. It didn't meet expectations. People were getting sick. Actually, there was people that had health issues from looking at this red and black screen for hours on end, and you know, they would stop and they'd be all disoriented and stuff like that. So let's turn this volume down here. We're going to actually, and it wouldn't be a Toys R Us Tuesday if we didn't dive into the collectible aspect of this. So we're going to actually search by highest price. As you can see, this virtual bowling went for $1,800. And that's crazy. A lot of these games are extremely rare if you can find them. Virtual bowling, as you can see, went for $1,800. There's also console displays. And remember, I was talking about when I went to Toys R Us, they had this something like this set up. It wasn't quite like this one, or it could have actually been this one. I just don't remember. But you know, they had these to set up, and this is where you found out that, you know, the Virtual Boy wasn't really as awesome as you thought in the commercials and stuff like that. So, you know, even these like store displays, these store displays are very rare. That's why they go for a crazy amount of money. Sometimes you can find these at garage sales and stuff like that, but most of the time you're going to find these people sell them on eBay, and you can find them every once in a while, stuff like this on like OfferUp or Let It Go or something like that. But there's also, you know, the store displays that you got to look for. You know, some of the games are worth an extreme amount of money. Here's a sign. Display sign with stand. I mean, this went for $850, and it's just pretty much a standing display to advertise. There's lots of good money in Nintendo advertising, so don't pass this up if you see this kind of stuff. This looks like it was like a plastic vacuum formed thing, and look how small this is. And this went for $800. You might be able to find this kind of stuff, you know, out and about. But let's talk about the system. Look at Street Fighter, $700. Sealed Jack Brothers, $500. An open Jack Brothers, $519. It's crazy. So here's a new in-box one, $500. I could see this definitely going up in value over the years, and because, like I said, they only made, I don't want to say they only made 770,000 of these, but they sold 707,000 of these. So there's probably a lot more of these out in existence, but finding these in mint condition and sealed is going to be a chore. So I just want to let you guys know, you know, Toys R Us Tuesday, you know, it's all about learning. It's all about taking a step back in time. I'm kind of an older guy. I'm almost in my 40s. So I pretty much lived through the whole Nintendo being born and just watching that whole culture develop. You know, I remember being the first kid on my block in late 1985, having the first Nintendo, and just watching, you know, that whole culture just swing from like the crappiness of Atari, and then just like Sega Master System and Nintendo just really revolutionizing the video game industry. So anyways, I want you guys to take a look at this. You can find this stuff at garage sales and thrift stores. And this is what it looked like. It was kind of like a stand-up thing. It wasn't really that portable either. I mean, they touted it to be portable, but it wasn't really good. Even the controller, you know, there was a lot of people that complained about the controllers and stuff like that, that, you know, it was just uncomfortable to use and look at. And you could still find these in garage sales and stuff. I know there was I think Resale Rabbit posted a video, I want to say maybe a week or a month ago, and he was talking about finding one of these things. So this stuff is definitely out there. Well, anyway, guys, thank you for taking a little bit of time on your Tuesday. We want to get back into Toys R Us Tuesdays every Tuesday. We'll dive right into an old game or a toy or something that I remember when I was a young lad. So thank you guys for stopping by. If you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. And if you're watching this on the back end, please put your comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And I hope everyone's having a great Tuesday. So yeah, definitely look out for Virtual Boy. If you see, okay, here's the thing. You want to say, and we'll just do this real quick. I'm at a garage sale. I see Virtual Boy stuff. What do? Buy it if the price is right. If they want like $300 for the system, of course you're not going to buy it unless it's sealed. You could still make like $100 or $200 off of that. But if you see any Virtual Boy stuff, anything, you buy if the price is right. All right, guys, thank you for watching. I want to give a shout out to the Shred Guy. Thank you for coming. Super Sunshine Thrifter, I appreciate your guys' support. Like I said, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and we'll see you next Tuesday.